transport of gases. First, transport of oxygen. Through the plasma, only about 3% of oxygen will be dissolved in plasma and it will be carried in the dissolved state. And as oxyhemoglobin, 97% of oxygen will be carried by RBC in blood. Here, hemoglobin consists of heme iron part and globin protein part. Heme binds with oxygen in reversible manner to form oxyhemoglobin, which will be transported in that form of oxyhemoglobin. Single molecule of Hb can hold the 4 molecules of O2. O2 binds with Hb at lung surface and gets dissociated at the tissues. So Hb plus O2 at the lung surface will be carried to the tissues as HbO2, and in the HbO2 in the tissues will be dissociated, giving O2 to the tissues. Higher partial pressure of oxygen makes the oxygen too easy binding with the Hb in the pulmonary blood capillaries. When this oxygenated blood reaches to the tissues, PO2 decreases, so O2 will be released from the blood capillaries to the tissues where it will be utilized for glucose oxidation. This oxyhemoglobin dissociates near tissues due to increase in acidity, that is decrease in pH and higher temperature. 100 ml of blood will contain 15 grams of hemoglobin. 1 gram of hemoglobin will be required 1.34 ml of oxygen to bind with. So here 15 grams into 1.34, 20 ml of oxygen will be carried by the 100 ml of blood in the arterial blood. Under normal conditions, 5 ml of oxygen will be transported by the blood. Coming to the oxygen dissociation curve, a graphical representation of relationship between PO2 and percentage of saturation of hemoglobin with oxygen is called oxygen dissociation curve or oxyhemoglobin dissociation curve. It is sigmoid shape. The amount of O2 that can bind with Hb is determined by the partial pressure of oxygen. As shown in the graph, Hb gets saturated at about 50% when the PO2 is 25 mmHg. The partial pressure at which hemoglobin saturation is 50% is called P50. Factors which affect oxygen dissociation curve. This curve is useful to study the effect of factors like PO2, PCO2, etc. on binding of O2 with hemoglobin. If PO2 is less, as in tissues, dissociation of O2 will take place from hemoglobin and it is supplied to the tissues, and here the right shift will occur. So that indicates the dissociation, whereas the left shift indicates the association of O2 with hemoglobin at the alveoli. So this is the oxygen dissociation curve. Coming to the shift to the right indicates the dissociation of O2 at the place of the tissues. Low PO2 and high PCO2 favors that one. So Bohr effect is a rise in PCO2 or fall in pH or affinity of oxygen, that is pH will be decreased due to high hydrogen ions, that is acidity, and high temperature. These factors favors the dissociation of O2 from Hb. These factors favor the dissociation of O2 from Hb in tissues. That indicates the right shift dissociation. That means the saturation becomes less. And next, coming to the left shift indicates the association of O2 in the alveoli. The conditions that are favorable for this is high PO2, low PCO2, high pH, that means less hydrogen ions, and low temperature. These factors favor the association of O2 in alveoli. This is how the oxygen dissociation curve is formed, and this is the right shift and this is the left shift. Left shift indicates the association, right shift indicates the dissociation. This takes place in alveoli and this takes place at the area of tissue.